export it. Okay. Now, you see, the thing is that, right, guys, the how to trade defensive stocks. Now, why I'm taking approach to defensive stocks is because with defensive stocks, it's not going to be like a stock that you'll see for example, you've got like Carnival. Carnival is, it wouldn't be a defensive stock. It's like a cyclical stock, meaning that when you've got peak season, like for example, the travel company, they'll only have the big bookings during the summer holidays in the UK. So those are cyclical. So they have cycles. They have times when they're whoop up there and there are times when they're down there. Yeah. Whereas the defensive stock now, like the GlaxoSmithKline, like the AstraZeneca, you're always going to need those supplies. You're going to have the Johnson and Johnson. You're going to need face stuff. You're going to need toothpaste. You're going to need, these stocks are the defensive ones. And also they don't move that rapid. And they don't all the time. There's, you see them rock up and never stop. They've got they sort of go up, and then when they become too expensive, then they go back down, and then they come again, and then people say they're cheap and they buy again. And it's like that cycle. So the defensive stocks are much easier, I think, for retail traders to trade. And I'm going to show you some simple things that you do to trade these sort of stocks. Okay. So defensive stocks are stocks that one could consider buying at any point throughout the year. They're resilient companies where their services are required all year round. That's my understanding of it. That's so I've sort of interpret it, and that's the reason I write that. Okay, now what you could look at here now, these are the top UK defensive stocks. You've got United Utilities, National Grid, Tesco, Unilever, GlaxoSmithKline, Spitz and Nevis, British Tobacco, Diageo, BAE System, and Ricketts Benz Kaiser. So these are the top stocks. These are the ones that if you want to invest, you're going to want to invest in stocks like these. But then there's a process that you follow. And also I would recommend as well that you sort of basically, when you're investing in these sort of stocks, you probably don't buy the physical stock, because that's going to tie up money that can be used elsewhere. Okay, so you don't probably want to do that. Now the next thing now also, Germany is just as powerful as the UK when it comes on to stability, when it comes on to leadership, in terms of global leadership I'm talking about. Just like the UK is a leader across the world, Germany is also a superpower, because the Germans are the ones who are in control of the Eurozone. They are the ones, Angela Merkel, she's the one who is in charge of the whole Eurozone, and they have got the last say in a lot of things. And it's their idea of the Eurozone. They, along with France, of course, you could put some French stocks here, but I don't really rate France as I would rate you know Germany. And in terms of, and France gets so much of their GDP money from Africa, so I'm not even sure if it's their own money, or or what's happening there. So I'll leave that one for another time. But these are some stocks that you could possibly trade, in terms of German, and these are some really good. Everybody know Adidas. Everybody know about BMWs. People are always going to buy shoes. People are always going to buy clothes. You know, BMW. People always want cars. And so on. People are always going to be going into banks. You know, mobile phone, Volkswagen. So big companies there. So that's what we want. We want safe situations. That's much we're trying to create. Um, so the next bit now, the best. Okay, so we're looking at the best defensive stock line here. So we've got Coca-Cola, which is the New York Stock Exchange. We've also got the Procter and Gamble. We've got PepsiCo. This now, when you look here, guys, the New York. This is the New York Stock Exchange, right? But this is the symbol that we use to find Procter and Gamble. KO is for Coca-Cola, and basically Lockheed is Martin is basically LMT. So if you were to search for these companies, that's what you'll find. And I tell you, a lot of these companies are at some really good zones at the moment, right? A lot of these companies are some real good zones at the moment. So in terms of buying opportunity, okay. Now, what I do, right? What I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you the exact process that I follow when I'm going to be, doing any sort of trading at all. And let me tell you now, anyone has any particular stock, type in the chat if you got a particular stock that is a defensive stock that you'd want me to look at, and then I can actually, and then I could basically use that one as the example. Is there a stock that anybody has got? And then I would show you as an example. Okay, I will choose. Let me choose one then. Let me find one. Okay, let's see. We have got Eon. Have you all know about? Oh, Costco. Okay, Costco. Okay, let's find Costco then. Okay. Yeah, let's find Costco. Costco is a defensive stock. Let's find Costco. So then I go into symbols. Let's see. Oh, Costco. Here's Costco. Okay. Right. So Costco now. Okay, Costco's been Costco's been going up really, really nicely. But what I'm going to do, guys, let me show you now. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to basically do this. The first thing I do is I go on to, I'm going to drop the link. I'm going to drop the link of this for you in the chat. So so you can copy this link, okay? So you can do exactly the same thing. So everybody, I've dropped the link so you can use the exact same link and do exactly the same thing I'm doing. Okay, so this is, I'm going to search for Costco now. Okay, so Costco is on the wholesale corp. Okay, okay. Let me see if it's 354. Yeah, that's the correct one. Okay, brilliant. Okay, so this is Costco now. What I do, I use the Financial Times. Now, what you could do is, oh, I send it direct message. I need to send to all. Sorry, guys. I've sent it to, let me send to everyone. Okay, right. So I've sent it to everyone. No, this basically, if you don't go into the right place, then you'll have to pay. So you've got to use this link. If you don't use this link, then you search for it, you just can't seem to find this particular link that give you the free bits, because you don't have to pay big money. But of course, they want you to pay big money to get the Financial Times. So they'll show you a little bit of data, and then when you go in, but for this particular purpose, you don't really need to pay. You understand? So let's have a look now. So the first thing I do, I go to profile. Okay. And then when I go to profile, this is what I'm doing. I'm looking at the revenue, and it has to be in the billions. Also, it was incorporated in 1987. Costco was incorporated in 1987. The revenue is 172 billion. Net income, 4.32 billion. So you want these to be positive. Also, what I need as well, I need this thing to be over at least 50,000 employees. Because just imagine, right? If Costco said that there's an issue, there was a problem with them, right? And then they said, look, you know what? If the government don't help us because of whatever reason, then we are going to have to make all of these people redundant. The government wouldn't allow it. The government would step in because of the sheer amount of employees the employees they've got, because they've got 150,000 employees. Now, let's look at the other side now. Year on year Costco investment. So we look at their income statement as well. So we look and we say year on year, Costco Wholesale Corp grew revenue 9.21%, right? To that, while net income improve. So when you're looking, you see all of this positive, then this is a company that they want to buy. No, then you look and you say, okay, Costco Wholesale Corporation is engaged in operation membership warehouse in the United States, Puerto Rico. You can see that it's worldwide. It's not just America, it's worldwide. Yeah. So then you're thinking, okay, this really is going to do it for me. Okay. This is going to be, this is going to do it for me. I'll be able to sort of make some money from this. Okay. So he said, okay, so first of all, we look, revenue must be positive. Net income must be positive. The incorporation, you want a company that probably has been around since the 1990s. Yeah. It's for you to say, it's an established company. Because look at, for example, Thomas Cook. They're gone. You understand? A reputable company. Thomas Cook like was one of British the biggest airline, one of Britain biggest airline. Thomas Cook, and look, they're disappeared. We want to see that the number of employees, the government would feel it if 150,000 people were to lose their jobs. Income statement is positive. So once you've seen that, we say, okay, this company is good. The next step we're going to do now, we're going to go to Yahoo Finance, okay? We're going to go to Yahoo Finance. So the next piece of the puzzle, I'm just going to drop this in there in the chat for everyone so you can actually copy this link and have it to your disposal, okay? Right. So I'm going to put this bit, which is the cost, yeah, Costco wholesale. Copy that, stick it in there. Okay. And let me, this is the next step now. So what we've got here now, guys, we've got the NASDAQ JS, right? Now, here now I'm looking for, this is what I'm looking for now. Okay. And listen to this part carefully. Okay. I look at this now and I say, okay, now this is another lesson. I'll teach you this lesson next week. I'll teach this lesson next week. Ex-dividend. I can go into this thing and make some money by the 4th. Okay. I can go into this trade and make some money by the 4th of February. I'll make some good money, but of course the dividend yield is very, very small still. If it was 5%, then I would go in. They're not really paying much. Okay, but anyway, that's another lesson within itself in terms of trading with ex-dividend. I'll do a lesson on that next Friday, same time. But this is what I'm looking for now. I'm looking for the average volume must be 1 million. Now, the rationale behind why the average volume must be 1 million, because let me tell you something, like GameStop and a lot of these, they're small companies, those what we call penny stocks. You'll buy a penny stock and can't sell it because there's not enough volume. So it's really important that you're in a stock that is liquid. There are lots of it, right? There are lots of that particular stock. You don't want to be buying a stock that you can't sell or you can't buy back because there are limited amount of shares available to the public. Okay. So we want at least this average volume to be 1 million. Okay. This is what I'm looking for. Remember I said this must be in the billion, must be at least 1 billion. I'm also looking for earning per my earning per share needs to be at positive. I don't want to have buying any company whatsoever and the earning per share is negative. That means that every share is worth less than 0. Now, also, another thing I want you to be aware of, you don't really want to buy a share, right? If this thing is very close to the earning date, because this earning date can send the share rocket up or it can send the share plummeted. So you don't want that. So what you want to make sure that you do is that you basically, if it's 3 weeks to go, avoid that particular share. Wait for the news first. The market will never run away. And there's so many markets to trade as well. Okay. Now, so this is good, a forward dividend and yield, yeah. But this is another nice feature of this, right? It gives you a 1-year estimate. Now, of course, if you look and you see that 1-year estimate for let me see, like Tesla might be like Tesla share will say 70, but the 1-year estimate might be 60 because Tesla has actually exceeded expectation. But you can see that there's a potential for another $45 in terms of movement based on the Yahoo estimate. So once I see that there's potential based on Yahoo's calculation, I said, okay, good. My next thing now, I'm just going to go to my chart. Then I find Costco. So I find Costco now, and then I'm going to get my indicator. Now I'll put my indicator on the chart, and then I'm going to put my supply and demand zones on. Now, at this point where you see I've put this line at the top here, this here is what we call a supply zone because people consider Costco to be very expensive, and that's the reason why they sell it there. Okay. Now, here again, people say Costco there was reasonable price And that's the reason why they buy back there. People see at this level, it was expensive, right? Now, another thing, we look again, we're looking at these supply and demand zones, okay? So if we look now, we can see it comes down to here, goes back up to there, comes back down to there, goes back up to there, comes back down to there, before breaking above, pulling back, and then going above this point. The notice there goes up to a point, pull back there. Now, the next best place sometimes, if I can't see anything much, what I could possibly do is put it onto the weekly because I put it under the monthly, right? A possible area to buy this stock would be here. Okay, could also be at this point as well. Because if you notice here, it pulls up to there, come back to there before moving back up to this point. So that's a possible buy area. Could also be a possible buy area there. So if you notice this stock just keep on going up and going up and going up. So this is what it looks like now. This is now on the daily chart. So what I'll be doing here now, I'll be looking to buy this company here with a potential for this company back up to where it was before. Okay. Guys, can you just type Y in the chat for me if you can see my screen? Because someone was saying they can't see my screen. Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm not sure. You probably need to log out and then log back in, and then I'll accept you. So just log out and then log, because sometimes that will happen. So log out and log back in, okay? And I'll just take you back in, okay? Right. So ultimately, guys, right? So this is the system. You know, let me show you another thing. And somebody was saying to me, Marlon, what do you mean by buy and hold is dead? And I said, look, you might buy a stock, okay? And then let me just get one of those typical examples. Okay, now, so this is it now. So guys, this is on a demo account, right? This is it now. This is live now. The market is still open. So this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to show you how I'm going to buy it now. So I'm happy because of this zone. I got this zone from the weekly chart, right? I am now going to look to buy this stock, okay? Costco. So I'm going to buy this stock now, and this is what I'm going to do. This is a demo account. I'm going to see because I'm going to show you how I am, say, going to risk, say I'm going to risk, say 250 pounds. So if this market goes below 250 pounds, then I'll lose that. But then if it keeps on going 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, then I'll just let it keep running. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, guys, let me just look at the market. I'm going to look at the market specification, okay? So this is what we do now. This is what we call the MetaTrader 4 platform. You can actually trade from this platform, okay? So let me just show you something right now. So this is the MetaTrader 4 platform, and let me see, where's Costco? There's Costco. You right-click, and then we go to right-click, and then we go to specification, right? Now the specification, it says that the minimum volume is 0.1. Okay, so volume step is 0.01. So the minimum volume I can trade is 0.1. I don't know what the value of the 0.1, but can you see here? You'll pay a swap in terms of percentage using currency price of negative 3.2. And but that's within another lesson. But this is, they give you all the information there, okay, about the stop level and so on. So it gives you all the information about what time the stock is open, 4:40 to 10:55. That's the time when the stock is open, okay, and so on. So what I'm going to do now, it says the minimum is 10. So if I try and buy now, nothing will happen. Can you see I'm pressing on the buy button? Nothing is happening. So I'm going to have to take this up to 10. So I'm going to take this up to 10. No, I can buy. So I bought now, yeah. Let me show you how much money I've paid to buy this share just now. So Costco, I've just bought Costco, and I'm going to show you now how much money, right? How much money basically I've actually paid to get into this stock. So I'm going to go to Toolbox. And then if you look now on the Toolbox for Costco. So there's Costco there, right? I've literally paid probably about £1 to purchase this trade. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull it down all the way down to here. So look now. So guys, look at this now. I said I'm going to risk, right? This is 18 pounds, but I am going to risk 200 pounds on this trade, right? And this is where I'm looking for this market to go back, okay? At the moment, I look and I see that this is 18 pounds. I said I'm only risking 200 pounds. At the moment, if the market goes back to where it was, I would make 24 pounds. So that's almost like 1-to-1, which is sometimes not very good. But let's say this is a big company. I could say I'm risking 250 pounds. So you see, if the market comes out, say this thing drop and come down, I would just want to put it just below here. Yeah. So if the market comes down, then that's all the amount of money I'm going to lose. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you now how I'm going to scale this up. So therefore, I only lose 250 pounds. If the market comes down to there, I only lose 250 pounds. So what I'm going to do now, that gives me say 20. So if this works out to be 20, and guys, let me tell you, this is no difficult maths at all. This is no difficult maths at all. Let me show you something here. Okay. Let me show you how I'm going to do this. Okay. Your speaker is not working properly. Okay, can everybody hear me? Type yes, because say in my speaker. Continue. Okay. Right. Now. Okay, brilliant. Thank you. So this is where we are now, guys. Okay. No, I don't want any of those. Now, if you notice there, guys, it says that the 0.1, because sometimes this is a challenge that some people find, right? Some people find that, right? This is what some people find. Because they're saying, but I don't know how to put my stop loss. I don't know, how to prevent myself losing money. So then if we then do, say, for example, that between that point there and the bottom, just so this between that point and the bottom there, right? That was worth 18 pounds. Let's round it off to 20 pounds. Okay. Let's round that off to 20 pounds. So that's 20 pounds. Now, but I said I only want to risk, right? 250 pounds. Right. And remember, this bit gives me, that bit was 0.1. Remember, that was 0.1. Okay. So like 10 pence for every move. So I'm doing 10 pence for every movement. Okay. Now, if 0.1, right, gives you 20, okay, what we could do here is that how could we move, right, from, 20 to 250, because remember I said I want to risk 250. So what I do is I show my students and my clients that, look, in order for you to risk only 250 pounds, there's a simple calculation that we've got to do. And there is just all the time you're going to do exactly the same. Okay, so I'm going to multiply this number by something to get that. And I'm going to multiply this number by something to get that. Yeah, so I've got to multiply both of them by the same amount. I'm going to take 250. Guys, you can use a calculator. Yeah, 250 divided by 20. Because whenever I do this, someone said, no, man. No. We've got a calculator. Brain power, calculator. So we just do 200, and the step is exactly the same. You take this number, divide by that number. That's all. Right? So the 250 divided by 20, and that gives you 12.5. So I'm going to multiply this by 12.5. And if I multiply this side by 12.5, I'm also going to multiply this side by 12.5. So I've got now, if you look now, if you look 0.1, so I do 0.1 times 12.5, because let me tell you something, this is the most difficult part of trading, because if you don't get your risk level correctly, then you lose your money. And what you don't want to be losing more than you should. You understand? And remember as well, some people, what they'll do, they'll put 20, 30,000 pounds in a trading account, right? And that money is stuck into some trades for a long time. I'm talking about when you buy the physical stock. We don't need to buy the physical stock here. You understand? There's no need. We could take that. We could take actually £2,000 and actually put trades on similar to a £20,000 in one of those what we call those trading account where you buy the physical stock. You own the stock. In this style of trading, you don't own the stock. We call this contract for difference, or what we call spread betting, or CFDs. Okay. So anyway, this is, let's get back to this. So I do 0.1 times, and then I get 1.25. So 1.25 is going to give me a risk of £250. Okay. So then if I go back to this now, okay, I go back to this now, and I'm going to just, because this is a demo account, right? And let me see. So where's Costco? Oh yeah. So Costco at the moment is just down that. So I'm going to close it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go here and I'm going to change this to 1.25. So I'm going to type this in 1.25. Because let me tell you something, guys. Most traders don't show people these things. You've got to pay big money for them to show you something as simple as this. But it's this simple bit that makes the difference. It is this simple bit that's going to make you make the money or lose the money. Yeah? Because remember, in every business that you operate in, right, there are going to be times when things go really, really well. And there are going to be times when you're not getting any clients. And it's the same here. When you've got losses sometimes, it's just a part of the business. Okay. And I'm also, and you know what made it for me? As I told you, I saw a guy, the guy who taught me, right? Cost a lot of money for him to teach me, but I was able to see thousands and thousands of pounds in a trading account. And that's the reason why now I'm seeing thousands and thousands of pounds in my trading account. And I'll show you one, because it's all about the growth mindset. If we've got, because there are two obstacles here. Because people sometimes, like, let's say, for example, in my teaching, because as a teacher, I did this qualification, advanced skills teacher, right? And basically, I had to, because I wanted to get better, I wanted to improve. I was watching YouTube, this thing called test website. There's another one with lots of videos. I forgot the name of the company. But I watched all of those videos, outstanding lesson, what an outstanding lesson looked like. I went and observed the best teachers because I wanted to improve. I learned from the students that I'm teaching. I'm teaching that. So it's all about trying to have a growth mindset where you say, I can always improve. I can always do better. And even if you've got a business, for example, you see a lot of these businesses like Debenhams, they haven't come to terms with the new way of working, the new way of selling. And that's the reason why they've gone bankrupt. You understand? And it's the same thing. You're doing this business now of trading. If you're not in tune and in sync with what is happening in the marketplace, then you're obviously going to lose money. There are times every month I actually get a different trading book and I'm reading. I keep my same strategy. I don't deviate, but I keep reading to see what other people are doing. It's all about growth mindset. Now, let me show you now. Remember, I've just done this calculation. And this is the calculation, right? So I'm going to do 1.25 and I'm going to go back to the chart and I'll put this to 1.25. I'm now going to click buy. Then let me show you now. I'm going to pull it from this point now. And can you see? I pull it down just below there. So can you see now? That's risking £250. That's what we mean by taking a risk of £250. Now, because it's Costco, right? If it keeps on going, then we can look to take profit up there. Or we could just allow it to go, just as though it has moved out of this zone, just as though it's break. And let me tell you something, this is what happens. We always look left. If you notice here, the market was in a range. From September last year, it goes up, come back down, goes up, come back down, goes up, come back down, before breaking above this zone. Yeah. Breaking above this zone, come back, and then pull up, and then come back down to the zone. Look, it's new zones now. That's now a new zone. And then what will happen? It's sort of moving between this zone. Of course, it could collapse and come down to here. But if it does go back up to this point, then I'm looking to take profit. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave it as it is. So for those people who come into the next session next week, where I'm going to teach you about dividend paying stocks, I know you actually, if you've got the right sum of money, you could live off stocks. You could come and see me do that. You know, that's something that I've been studying. I've just read a book on that and would love to share it. And I know if I'm going to share it, then I'm going to put together the work to make sure that I do it. So if I say I'm going to share it next week, then I'm going to put the work in to make sure I get all the presentation and do all the research. Even though I've read the book, it's the knowledge is here. I just need to put it on the paper now. Okay. Now, anyway, that's it. That's the presentation done. I will also show you one of my real accounts, so you can actually see real money in a trading account as well. Okay. And I'm going to show you this is like Morrison's, where you get a dividend as well. So basically here, this account started with 15,000, right? And actually, please don't do this. Let me tell you how I got this funds, right? Don't do this. I'm a credit card specialist. I use credit card to buy properties and end up paying interest over, say, 3-4 years of probably $2,000. I'll pay $2,000 out of my pocket to buy a property, you know. And this one, when I look at my credit card and saw that there was a deal, I said, you know what, let me make some money. My plan, this 15K that I took from my credit card, the plan was, okay, was to make a grand. The credit card charged me a grand to take this money for over 12 months. And I said, okay, I'm going to spend this, make a grand, make the credit card money back, and then what's left over is mine. Look, I've made over £12,000. And I've still got another 8 months to go on that credit card. So thank you, credit card. But please, never ever, please, I'm begging you, don't. I have got the experience, but remember, I've got the experience. I felt the pain. I give you an example what happened to me. I used my credit card and I invested in this company, and 40. Oh yeah, you can get dividend, but next week I'll talk to you about the dividend ones. The next week I'll teach you about the dividends and how it works. Now, what happened was, I took my credit card, £5,000, and I put it in. I moved that £5,000 in that trading account to £19,000, and they refused to give my money because, and these are some of the things I didn't know. These people, they don't want you to make money. The guy, one of my account manager, contacted me and said, listen, he thinks I'm using some robot. And I said, no, I trade live. I trade. And he was saying to me, look, I must be using, so they need to see what I'm doing. So I had to screen share with him to show him what I was doing. And it's all of these things that give me, okay, these people don't have our interest at heart. They only talk as if they're, listen, they don't. Okay. So guys, that's it for today. What you can do now, I'm going to leave the floor open for about 15 minutes where you can ask questions. Okay. So I'm going to, I'm not sure. I think you can like raise your hands. And if you raise your hands and then I called you on Zoom, you can raise your hands and then basically, and then I can always, yeah. And then I can always see who would like who's asking a question. Okay. Right. So if you raise your hands, if you've got any questions, then basically you can. Okay. You should all be able to talk. You should all have allowed people to speak now. Okay. Or what you could even do, you could actually type your answers and you could also type your questions into the messaging box. Yeah.
So Marlon, sorry.
Yeah.
You took the 5,000 up to 19.
Yeah.
So they refused to give you any of it.
Any of it. They refuse. I sent at least 1,000 email, but guess what happened? What they did was I put money in and made withdrawals. Right. No, they weren't regulated. But back then I didn't understand about the whole regulation process and all of those sort of things. because all I was in, I want to make money, not doing the due diligence. Like the company I'm using now, these companies, I put my money in, take my withdrawal, and I'm good to go. So there's no issues now. And for me, even, and because now what I'm doing is I'm sort of mirror trading now with people. So people put their money into a trading account, and I trade that account for them. And as a result, you find now, I made sure I try at the company, put my money in, take up my money, everything, because I want to make, because this is, because I'm a teacher, I've got my reputation here. I want to be helping children until I die. You understand? So, and if I then display the wrong attitude and the wrong mindset to people, then that's going to send the wrong message to me.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, I can always give you all of that information. Just send me a WhatsApp message, and I'll send you a link to the broker that I use. Okay.
Is your number there, Marlon?
Oh yeah, let me put my number in.
So Marlon, if
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
today has never done any trading, and from what you've just presented,
Mm-hmm.
What are the key steps for them starting to,
I would say, the first and foremost, you need to sort some medication out. Don't just go and do trading, because let me tell you, over the years, right, and even the courses, I've actually, no, I'm not even selling my courses at the moment, because I sold those courses, and when I look on the website and I look to track and see who, so I can see who was participating, and I'm like, three people out of, like, I think about 80 people bought the course. Three people have actually done anything whatsoever. And also as well, you see, I give you an example. I went in a course, right? And the course costs £5,000. It was with this guy, Greg Secker. He's always advertising, I'm going out with my garden, I'm helping my garden and so on. This
Yeah.
guy. And I paid £5,000, was just for 2 days and three half-an-hour sessions. Now, when I went on the second day, I had to pay, and this 5,000 plus, I had to do the hotel separate. Okay. Plus I had to pay out to go down to London and all of that, which is separate. Now, so roughly, I would say probably about 5,000, probably £300 with hotel fee and so on. Now, the second day of the course, they did an upsell, and they said to me, look, they said to us, there are about 200 of us in the room, so that times 5 grand by 200 people. Now, so in the room they said, look, we've got a really good offer next door. Come next door and listen to this offer. And then he said something like, if you really want to get to the next level, you can have us looking over your shoulder, seeing exactly what you're doing, right? And explain, and you see exactly what trades we're taking. We could do that for you. And what you're gonna have to pay is £20,000. The 5K that you've just spent will take that off, so it's only 15K. I saw all of these guys going, shaking hands, all these white guys. I'm look a black man, the only black man in the room as well. I'm like, Jesus, man, I've got another 15K in my pocket, man. And I'm like, no, I'll just take my time, walk out. But guess what? It cost me since then to learn how to trade more than £15,000, with all the mistakes, with all the, not knowing and trying YouTube and buying courses online, trying courses online. It was very difficult. So one of the things I'm always going to suggest is that you've got someone who basically can show you the ropes, take your hands and show you step by step, teach you the rope. Now, one of the things I might offer at the end of this is have about 10 people who I basically mentor, and I won't charge you an extortionate amount of money. And then, but those 10 people, I need them to be trading, and what I'm also going to need is like testimonial, and I'll do a significant reduction. And one other thing as well, those 10 people as well, they've got to be willing to do homework, because the last time I was teaching a group of people, and I was setting homework, and she was like, every week, the lady, of course, she's got money, she's like a six-figure person, and she was always, arguing back, she's the one who employed me, not me employ her. I'm like, you're my student, don't forget that. because she was consistently just, and I'm like, listen, this is not for me. I know you can buy 10 of my courses, but if I'm going to teach you, I want to do it properly. All I'm asking is for you to basically, right, just do the homework. Now, also, what I've realized in the past as well, people pay me. I've got people who pay me £3,000 for a course, one-to-one, and done the course. Marlon, it was great. I'm still trading their account. They've never picked up a trading and not trade at all. I would rather not take your money and you go and buy, go on a holiday rather than you pay me this money and not take action. It's a pointless thing. That hurt me because ultimately I want to see a lot of us out there making money and doing it properly. And that's the reason why I'm doing this, and that's the reason why I'm sharing a lot of the strategies that you won't really get anywhere else for free, and being honest and upfront with you. Right. So yeah, someone asked the question. I hear you. I'm a pioneer of a few things in my life. Okay. Mentioned. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah. I've got books there. I could actually send you. I don't read the books now because trust me, it's very difficult. But I listen to the audio. So on Amazon Prime, this Audible, I just buy a book every month. And I've just read this book, but I can send you the name of it. Just make sure you WhatsApp me. Can you go over risk management process again? Okay, I'll definitely make a note of that. I'll definitely make a note of that and do that again next week. Okay.
What about the social trading?
Oh yeah, social trading. Now, social trading basically is where your account mirrors mine. So what happens is, like my account I've just shown you there. I started with 15, right? This account is over 20, roughly about 27,000 something now. Okay. Now that's roughly, let me see, nearly like 8 something percent, right? You would actually make this exact same amount of money. You'll make exactly the same amount of money. Yeah,
So it's linked to yours,
yeah,
that
yeah,
when you select something new,
yeah,
that happens automatically for
yeah.
whoever's linked.
So just as how you've seen me just put that trade on just now,
Yeah.
that trade would have been taken on the person's account as well.
Okay.
But it would be in proportion to the size of their account.
Okay.
So what I have to do is I've got to have an account in such a way that if you notice there, I could do like a tiny lot, like 0.1, which was £18, okay, which was the minimum. So what the minimum there now, that's the reason why the minimum I'm saying to people to come in is £1,000, because then you won't be able to, the minimum I would say is £1,000, because you see, if you've got a little £250 account, then if I put a trade on and I lose £18 with the 250 and then I lose another 18, I can't really bring it back to where it was before. You understand? So it's much more difficult. Yeah. Is there a minimum to start? No. The minimum is I would say you can start with £500, but preferable minimum of 1,000. No, but what I do is I charge a fee. I charge a fee of 30% of profits. I only get paid if you make money. If you don't make money, I don't get anything. So I charge a fee of 30% for 1,000 or less. If it's over 1,000, from £1,000 all the way up to 5 grand, it's 25% of profits made. And anything above 5,000, right? I've got this lady who's coming in with 40K. So that now is going to be 20%. So any profits made is 20%. So if you make £1,000, I get £200 out of it. So that's how that bit. So the social trading is that you take exact same trade, and that's for people who decide, you know what, I can't be bothered to learn this. You're going to do it for me. No, you don't have to. You don't have to have a computer or anything. Of course, it would be nice that when you're creating your account, you've got some sort of screen to look at. But you can monitor everything on your mobile phone. You can monitor everything on your mobile phone. However, if you're trading though, you must have a computer. Don't bother trade on your mobile phone. Don't trade on your mobile phone at all. Well, let me tell you, no, actually, I was managing 120 something thousand pounds up to Christmas. But because I've found a better system. So I've told everybody to take back their money, and now I'm actually using a different system because I've got a better system than the one I had before. Yeah, but I was, this, no. Let me tell you something. You see, the thing is that there's, let me look at this thing, because this is the thing I use, right? Hard work, persistence, late nights, rejection, sacrifices, discipline, criticism, doubts, failure, risks, all comes down to success in the end.
Okay.
No, I would never say to you trade on an iPad. I would never recommend that, to be honest. A serious person. No, guys, let me tell you something here now. Right now. You've got to remember this, right? Trading is a part-time income. Trading is a business. You can't basically think that you can just go and do this any and any. Like you're telling me now, right? Someone is gonna say to you, look, I'm gonna watch some YouTube video, and you've got a mole on your or what on your face, and you want to remove. So I'm gonna watch some YouTube video and then remove it. You've got to take a professional approach. Okay, in terms of percentage from profits, is your percentage? Oh yeah, my percentage from the profit is only the profit. So what I would recommend as well, guys, because with the old system, it pays based on the amount of profit that's in the account, close out. But I would recommend that on a monthly basis, you take out your profit. So therefore, when you take out the profit, I would get the percentage. So I'll get a percentage of that. I'll leave all trades so everybody can basically take their profits out. Take your profits out so you can leave that money running on a monthly basis. So you can take your profits out and put it in your wallet. Yeah, so it's in the wallet there, and it's not a part of. So therefore, every month, it's a fresh profit that I'll be paid from. It's just the profit alone. Only on profit, nothing else.
So Marlon, when you say profit, are you saying that you're like selling to get that profit to then place in a wallet?
Okay, no. So let me show you now. All right, let me show you something right now. You remember on this, right? Let me see. You remember this trade I took, right? Say this trade came up here and I made money on it, right? Okay, now, and when I close that trade, now in your account, in your account, right? Say you see £40 in your account as profit. You started with £1,000, and at the end of the month, you have got now £1,040. You see, out of that £40, depending on how much money you put in your account, I will get 30%, either 25% or 20% of the profits made.
Okay.
So that's how that would work.
So when the market starts changing, this is the bit I haven't got yet. Is that